The Basketball Wife star Jackie Christie, who is known for her over-the-top personality and fiery drama, is currently facing the most significant scandal of her life. Christie is a reality TV star, a businesswoman, and now a convicted fraudster. By launching businesses, writing books, and portraying herself as a self-made tycoon, Jackie was able to build an empire outside of reality television over the course of various years. The situation has spiraled into criminal charges that could land her behind bars for up to 10 years, and a jaw-dropping lawsuit that is worth $300 million has just exposed major financial scandals. However, everything is now falling apart. How did she go from being a successful businesswoman to being a criminal without a trace? There are a lot of wild details, and believe me when I say that this is a bigger fight than any reality TV show. In this article, we will discuss the disintegration of Jackie's empire and the implications that this may have for her future. Instead of merely being a reality TV star, Jackie Christie established a brand that encompassed a much wider range of activities than just Basketball Wives. She was constantly presenting herself as a powerhouse entrepreneur, the kind of woman who knew how to make money and keep it flowing because she dabbled in everything, from fashion and beauty to real estate and publishing over the course of her career. She claimed to be a real estate mogul with high-end properties under her name, that she had fashion lines, and that she had written books on how to help people improve themselves. Aside from that, let's not forget the countless occasions on television where she boasted about her business skills, acting as if she had the key to success. For years, rumors of shady business dealings followed her around, but behind the scenes, things were not as perfect as she made them appear to be. There were those who had the opinion that Jackie did not achieve the level of success that she had initially anticipated, while others accused her of using expensive purchases to maintain her appearance. She denied the allegations. People initially disregarded the rumors. After all, when you are in the public eye, haters are always going to talk about you. However, as the lawsuits began to pile up, Jackie found herself in a situation where she was not only dealing with gossip, but also with genuine legal trouble. If there is only one lawsuit, it might be a misunderstanding, but if there are $300 million in lawsuits, that is a full-blown disaster. Jackie was accused of defrauding investors out of millions of dollars, and investors began coming forward with shocking allegations. Others accused her of misrepresenting her business ventures, acting as if they were thriving when in reality they were barely surviving. Some people claim that she enticed them into bad business deals by promising mega returns that never materialized. People were saying that their money had completely vanished, which was the most damning of all the claims. It has been reported that Jackie was making investments for the purpose of expanding her business, but instead she was using the money to fund her extravagant lifestyle. This includes purchasing designer bags, going on expensive vacations, driving luxury cars, and purchasing mansions that cost multiple millions of dollars. The question that needed to be answered was, where exactly did all of that money come from? She was living the high life. What began as civil lawsuits quickly morphed into fraud investigations, and it didn't take long for the authorities to get involved on the scene. Jackie was running out of excuses. The numbers were not adding up, and she was getting frustrated. In the next moment, she was in court, attempting to explain where all of the money went. And the moment before that, she was preaching about the importance of building wealth and achieving financial independence. Suddenly, the empire that she had spent years building began to fall apart. Investors demanded that they receive their money back. Businesses severed their ties with her. And the reality television world, which had previously helped to boost her brand, was now watching her fall from grace. The shocking details that were revealed during the trial completely destroyed any defense that Jackie Christie had left. No one was prepared for what was going to happen when she finally entered the courtroom. Heaps of evidence, including allegedly forged business documents, fabricated financial reports, and even emails that suggested she intentionally misled investors, were presented by the prosecution. In fact, one of the investors went on record and disclosed that Jackie had personally reassured them, assuring them that their investment would be secure, even though she was allegedly aware that everything was starting to fall apart. It was clear that the money was not going where Jackie claimed it was going. The bank statements showed massive transfers that did not match up with her business records. This testimony alone was enough to raise eyebrows, but then the bank statements came out. The final verdict was handed down after several weeks of testimony and in-depth examinations of the financial situation. The judge did not hold back anything. It was determined that Jackie was responsible for the fraudulent activity, and she was ordered to repay a staggering $300 million in damages. The worst part is that Jackie did not have the money. Her assets were seized, her accounts were frozen, and the luxurious lifestyle that she flaunted could no longer be maintained. That is not just a pocket chain, even for a celebrity. It was one of the most significant financial collapses in the history of reality television, and everyone was interested in watching it. It is one thing to lose a lawsuit, but this situation was not even close to being completely resolved. On the other hand, the government intervened while Jackie was still trying to figure out how to pay off that enormous judgment. As a result of the findings that the prosecutors discovered, this investigation went from being a civil case to a full-fledged criminal charge. The authorities believe that Jackie did not simply engage in unethical business practices. Rather, she intentionally misled investors, moved money around in a suspicious manner, and possibly violated federal laws in the process. Allegations of fraud, wire fraud, and even money laundering began to surface with the authorities. That was the moment when Jackie's situation went from being bad to being downright terrifying. Civil lawsuits can leave you bankrupt, but criminal charges can land you in prison. And given the amount of money involved, the government was not going to let her stroll away without a fight. Jackie was now fighting not only for her reputation or her bank account, but also for the opportunity to avoid going to jail. They are claiming that she is being set up and arguing that she was not the mastermind behind the business deals. Jackie Christie's legal team is working extra hard to defend her and keep her out of jail. The prosecution is not buying it because the evidence against her is too strong. Instead, they are pointing the finger at her business associates and insisting that she was simply caught in the middle of poor decisions made by people she trusted. However, here is the problem: the prosecution is not buying it. Financial records, emails, and even recorded conversations have been discovered by investigators, all of which appear to demonstrate that Jackie was aware of everything that was taking place from the beginning, in spite of the fact that she was allegedly aware that things were breaking down. She personally reassured them about their investments. According to the testimony of witnesses, the prosecution is using her luxury purchases, designer bags, high-end vacations, and expensive real estate as evidence that she was benefiting from the money that went missing. Another thing that should not be forgotten is the lifestyle that she used to live. The fact that she was simply a victim of poor business partners is made more difficult for her team to argue by itself. If she is able to avoid jail, even if her attorneys were successful in reducing some of the charges, it is possible that she will still be required to serve time in prison. The situation is not looking good. A sentence of 10 years is being considered, and although it is possible that she will not receive the maximum amount of time in prison, it appears that she will receive this sentence at this point. At this point, the most important question is, what is Jackie's next move? Taking a plea bargain or going to court to fight it out are the two choices available to her. It is possible that she would be willing to accept a plea bargain in order to reduce her sentence. However, this would require her to admit guilt. And given that her team believes that she is being set up, she may not be willing to do so. If she is found guilty of all charges, she could end up serving the full 10 years of her sentence. However, going to trial is a huge gamble. There is also the possibility that this will have an effect on her career in reality television, which is a real risk given the strength of the prosecution's case. Jackie has established her reputation through her work on Basketball Wives. However, in light of this scandal, will networks even be interested in collaborating with her? While it is one thing to be dramatic on television, it is an entirely different thing to be facing actual criminal charges. It has been possible for some reality stars to recover from scandals, but the situation is much more difficult when it comes to fraud and money laundering. Do you have any information about her husband, Doug Christie? This is a different situation than the others, in which he has always been there for her through the most difficult times. Does their marriage have a chance of surviving this legal catastrophe? Would he continue to stand by her side even if she were to be found guilty? It is still unknown what will happen. Now, it is not just Jackie Christie's reputation that is at stake. Rather, it is her entire family. Jackie Christie has always been a personality that is larger than life. The people who are closest to her are caught in the crossfire as she fights for her freedom. And the impact of this is something that cannot be denied. This is not just a bad press moment. This is serious. A $300 million lawsuit, fraud charges, and the possibility of prison are enough to shake even the strongest marriage. First, there is her husband, Doug Christie. He has been by Jackie's side for decades through every reality TV fight and business move. However, this is not another bad press moment. People are curious about how long Doug will continue to defend her despite the fact that he has remained silent up until this point. There are some fans who believe that he will always be there for her regardless of the circumstances, while there are others who believe that this scandal might be the thing that finally drives him away. The commenter stated, "Doug has always stood by Jackie, no matter how crazy she acts. I don't know if he's going to ride for her through a whole prison sentence. Jackie has been consistently supported by Doug regardless of how crazy she acts." Another person stated, "If Doug leaves, I wouldn't blame him. This is real life and she might be going away for a long time." This is a statement that another person made. Jackie's children have, for the most part, managed to avoid the public eye. However, now that their mother is in serious legal trouble, this is becoming increasingly difficult for them to do. Just picture yourself waking up to the news that your mother is being called a fraudster, watching social media tear her apart, and being aware that there is a genuine possibility that she could end up in jail. All of this is a lot. How are they going to deal with it? This situation is causing stress for the entire Christie family, and what about her fellow cast members on Basketball Wives? No one really knows, but one thing is certain, this situation is causing stress overall. Although Jackie has never been shy about stirring up drama on the show, the drama that is occurring this time is not something that was scripted. They are either making an effort to show their support for her, or they are remaining silent. According to some sources, the majority of the cast members are keeping their distance because they do not wish to be associated with legal trouble associated with the situation. Scandal is the lifeblood of reality television, but the actual charges of fraud that are brought against individuals are a completely different thing. Evelyn Lozada, Malaysia Pargo, and even Shaquille O'Neal have all had their disagreements with Jackie over the years. It is interesting to note that some of Jackie's previous beefs are now coming back to haunt her. Given that she is currently facing significant challenges, it is possible that some of them may have the impression that she is receiving what she deserves. Her once prosperous business empire has been replaced by a lawsuit for $300 million, and now she faces the possibility of being sentenced to prison. Everyone was caught off guard by this unexpected setback. There is a lot to take in, including the evidence, the shocking allegations of fraud, and the bombshells that were revealed in the courtroom. Now, however, the question that really matters is whether or not you believe Jackie is deserving of serving time, or whether or not she is simply being used as an example. Is it possible that she was the ultimate mastermind, or did she simply become entangled in something that was much larger than herself? Please share your thoughts in the comments section, and don't forget to give the post a like, subscribe to the channel, and enable notifications.